Alright everyone, Hydrogen Hillary Clinton has run out of human beings to blame for her election loss because she's included 99% of the US population, some Russians, and various other people around the world who decided they didn't 100% support her and worship the ground she walked on. So now she's gone from people to policy. Now she's blaming voter ID laws. Oh, in the state of Wisconsin, I would have won if it hadn't been for their evil, despicable, racist, bigoted, xenophobic voter ID laws, because lots and lots of people were suppressed from voting, and it was more than the number that I lost by. You know, like some of those people wouldn't have voted for Trump anyway. But here's the problem. Link in the description shows this. The study itself that she's alluding to is totally debunked. That is, she's totally wrong. Now, the reason you lost Wisconsin is because you didn't bother to go campaign in Wisconsin. You had more supporters probably than Trump, but they weren't energized, so they didn't bother to show up for the polls. And that's your fault. It's not the fault of the people of Wisconsin. It's not the fault of any other population within the country. You didn't whip your fans up into a frenzy. You would show up, talk to 10 hand-picked people, be like, yeah, we're going to break the glass ceiling. It's going to be so great. What's the rest of my platform? Hell if I know. I'm not even sure myself. It changes day by day. I'm for the TPP, and I'm against the TPP. I want to strike Iran. Oh, Trump is a bully. He's mean. He'll start World War III. I want to get involved in Syria. No, I oppose getting involved in Syria. We want higher taxes. Oh no, I respect the middle class. They pay enough. What's your platform? You never made it clear. Trump, for any faults that you may perceive in him, had a clear platform. Yeah, we're going to build a wall. We're going to deport people who are here illegally. I'm going to look at the tax code. Yeah, I'll probably drop the tax rate. We're going to drain the swamp, which is a vacuous, a general sweeping statement, but it's fairly clear, generally speaking, what's meant by it. Oh, we're going to tackle the DPRK. Another issue, by the way, on which Hillary Clinton has played both sides in the last 6 months alone. During the election itself, she said, oh, Trump doesn't have the balls to deal with North Korea. He'll be soft on them. Because he said one thing about Kim Jong-un that wasn't pure venom, and said, oh yeah, I look forward to meeting with him. Hillary comes out and attacks him, says, oh, he's soft on North Korea, he's probably going to be partying with Kim Jong-un. Now you look at her response to him actually going after North Korea, doubling down on sanctions, it won't largely work, pressuring the UN, and twice now threatening to destroy their whole country. And she says, oh, well, this is dangerous and dark, and it could lead to World War III, and it's so evil. Yeah, the same things that she was opposed to before when she was campaigning. That's Hillary Clinton's problem. Her problem is she didn't go anywhere, she didn't do anything, she didn't say anything of substance, and people started to notice the fact that she was a one-trick pony who happened to be the female presidential candidate and a member of the Democratic Party. I'm sorry, but that's not how you campaign. I think it was yesterday, actually. Bubba Bill's own, one of his own campaign people came out and said, I think it was Bubba Bill's person there. Oh yeah, I wasn't very impressed, by how she campaigned. Some of the Hollywood stars have climbed back off board the Clinton hype train too. Now that they realize she's never going to run again and she's not going to stab them in the back for opposing her, they're more willing to come out of the woodwork and stop being cowards and say, yeah, it was kind of a lackluster campaign. She's got some issues as a candidate. Yeah, let's be honest here. Primary blame lays with her. Hillary Clinton comes out months ago. When she's talking, I think it was PBS or one of these shows, or NPR. She says, oh, well, I take primary responsibility because, I was the candidate. But then she embarks upon months and months of crusading about how everyone else is responsible for her loss. Evil Russians, evil James Comey, ineffective, inept, non-fundraising DNC, the horrible right-wing media, the whole legacy media, including groups that were literally working with her campaign, which I'm not sure is even fully legal. My own voters, Trump's voters, Sanders fans, third-party voters, the apolitical, female voters, evil white bigoted males, sexism, voter ID laws, Russia. My goodness, that's a long list of people who really, at some point, if you think that all these groups of people viciously hate you and are trying to stand in your way of being coronated, maybe you should think, maybe it's not them that's wrong. Maybe it's you that's wrong. Maybe you're the one that sucks. Maybe it's not hundreds of millions of other people, Hillary. That's what she should probably keep in mind there. But she won't. She's got a huge ego. As I've said, though, Trump does too, in all honesty. But Trump has a constructive ego. His idea of how to ingratiate himself is do something great that people will respect or at least be in awe at. Oh, I'm going to gild everything in this fucking building in gold. I'm going to have the best golf course. I'm going to have the tallest skyscraper in this city. I'm going to be in all the countries. I'm going to have everything. I'm going to sell steaks and wine and bobbleheads, everything. I'm going to brand myself all over TV. I'm going to, go to WrestleMania and I'm going to be a star there too. I'm going to pretend to do some wrestling moves. That's Trump's idea of how to be egotistical. Hillary Clinton's idea is bomb another country and kill a bunch of people. Ooh, a real show of power. Blame everybody else for my own shortcomings. Ramble loud and long about how even people who supported me are evil and despicable and there's something wrong with them because they just didn't work hard enough. Hillary Clinton, meanwhile, thought it was a good idea to take several days off from campaigning on a regular basis and then fall like a sack of potatoes into the back of her van because she's overworked. Oh, she's so overworked. Yeah, with a schedule like that, the average person could maintain it at her age. A healthy person would not have a problem with that. When's the last time that any other presidential candidate, including people older than Hillary Clinton, had that problem? Like when Ron Paul was campaigning, he was moving around at rapid fire. I think he's older than Hillary Clinton is. I think he was almost older at the time. He did fine. He never collapsed in the back of his van. Bernie Sanders, he's 74. He's 4 years older than Hillary Clinton. His schedule is much more packed. It was much more stressful because he wasn't doing like the Goldman Sachs sit-down speech for $10,000 a plate. No, he was actually holding rallies. He did just fine. Trump's the same age as Hillary Clinton. He's holding twice as many fucking rallies. Gets 3-4 hours of sleep a night. No health problems, apparently. Not one sign of fatigue at any point during the entire election, including on debate night. So it was all an excuse. Hillary Clinton was just a poor candidate. Now it's voter ID laws. They're evil, bigoted, they suppress minority voters. But she's alluding to a study in her own book that's been debunked. It's not even a true study. It's completely falsifiable. I mean, falsified. It's completely wrong. No, there was no suppression of voters in Wisconsin. Voter ID laws don't suppress voters. Very easy to get a voter ID unless you have some... You think Wisconsin's a nutty state that's run by the far right? It was a blue state until Hillary Clinton came along. Now apparently it leans red. How very funny is that? Oh, it was the voter ID laws. It was gerrymandering. It wasn't gerrymandering. Look at Chicago if you want to see gerrymandering. You know, that blue city, the one completely run by Democrats, that you look at the voting districts there and then you begin to see the problem. There's your problem. Hillary Clinton just didn't know how to campaign. Oh, I went to one rally this week. I'm so tired. I think I'll go collapse and then I'm going to drink more, liquor. She wants to blame voter ID laws. Oh, pity me. I should have been the president. She's never going to let this go, by the way. She's going to keep saying these things for the rest of her life. For the rest of her natural-born days, she's probably going to complain about this. The Democrats, even elements of the liberal media, strongly support the DNC. They like the Democratic Party a lot more. They mostly hate Trump. Even they're saying that people are starting to get concerned about her prevalence on the national stage in the news, talking about these things, because it makes the Democratic Party look bad. They're now beginning to talk about how this might affect them in the midterms. And they also said, what if Kim Jong-un came out and backed Hillary Clinton? Because she keeps putting herself in the anti-Trump position despite not having power, and she refuses to back down. She's like, oh, I won't weigh out a legal challenge. I won't, necessarily agree that I won't sue at some point over the election results. They're terrified that Kim Jong-un is going to come out just to mess with the United States and say, oh yeah, Hillary Clinton's right. By the way, I won't even listen to Trump. I'm going to ignore his threats because he's not even the president. Oh, how wonderful that would be. How wonderful it'd be. Right now you already have some elements of the left wing, mostly grassroots. You're not seeing this from Salon necessarily, or even being liberal, but you are seeing it from some of the lay Democrat partisans saying, oh, Kim Jong-un is so much greater than Trump. Aha, he's so funny, he's so intelligent. If that gets extrapolated to the DNC at large, it's quaintance for them as far as the midterms go. The average voter is not going to respond well to that. In fact, the average voter might become more of a warmonger if that happens. So hopefully Kim Jong-un does that. It'd be chaos. It'd be funny. That's what's really happening in this country. It's all sorts of screwy. We've got someone loses a presidential race. Okay, we understand. You were one step away from the presidency and you lost. And I'm sure that hit you like a sledgehammer in the back of the neck. But at some point, you've got to realize, number one, you lost. Number two, you lost fairly. And you declared that the election was fair all the way through until you lost. So, don't fucking string me along here. Don't pretend that we're being dumb. We know what you're up to. It was fair. Number three, it didn't involve influenced by those evil Russians. Yeah, $100,000 worth of Facebook ads. You know how little that actually accomplishes? You know how few views that actually gets you? How few minds it changed? Oh, a few hundred people maybe tops. Russians bought Facebook ads. Okay, so you're saying Russians aren't allowed to buy ad space on the internet anymore. It might influence the elections over here. Okay, we'll just freeze them out. See, the problem is Obama gave ICANN away from the United States. Now it's internationalized. So you can't do that. You can't do jack shit about it. Enjoy! Yeah, Obama's setting the groundwork for Hillary Clinton's loss once again. Maybe he decided to do that on purpose. Maybe he's like, I just fucking hate these Clintons. I'm going to give the internet away from the United States. Let it be just tossed about in a sea of internationalism where nobody can even agree on anything, and ultimately nothing will end up regulated short term at least, because they'll never be able to institute any regulations. They won't know who actually runs things. Oh, let's just deny Clinton the election that way. I'll let those Russians get involved. That obviously didn't happen, but according to their timeline, which is totally wrong, that would make sense. Obama did seem a bit disgruntled when Hillary Clinton came out and basically said he was an asshole, which she did over and over in the campaign. She should have been his bosom buddy. She should have called him in the same way he called the Clintons in. Back when the bill was hip, he had Bill Clinton out there all the time. He's like, well, he's a good speaker. People like him as a former president, most popular living former president. Yeah, hell yeah, I want him campaigning for me. Why didn't you trot Obama out? Why didn't you have him go to a few more rallies? You didn't have the energy to do it. Why didn't you have him? Or even Biden. Even Joe Biden's more popular than Hillary Clinton. I think any Democratic politician is. Dianne Feinstein's more popular in the middle of red Texas than Hillary Clinton is in New York City at this point. She's the least popular political figure in the country, and she's not even in office. That's going some. You really screwed the pooch when you get to that level. That's about all. Peace out.